50 years ago, Master Cheng Yen earnestly vowed to shoulder the world's suffering and ease it. In the 50 years since,慈济volunteers have taken her sincere promise around the globe. She teaches us to give back to the land that nurtures us, and thus Eastern Canada慈济served the community unceasingly. When winter hits Toronto with icy temperatures and masses of snow, daily life becomes even more difficult for the homeless, some of which carry their entire belongings in a single plastic bag. Volunteers from the Toronto branch take to the streets, offering coffee and lots of love. At New Markets In From the Cold program, North Toronto volunteers serve hot food, showing that Tzu-chi's great love can light up even the coldest night. At Evangel Hall Mission, some endure a 3-hour wait for a single bed space. West Toronto volunteers provide warm drinks and snacks.
You show that they matter. You show that somebody cares. It's a little thing, and it's a huge thing.
On May 1st, a forest wildfire near the oil sands area of Fort McMurray, Alberta spread uncontrollably and forced the evacuation of an estimated 90,000 citizens. Tzu-chi volunteers mobilized in the aftermath, and beginning on May 11th, set up fundraising stations at supermarkets and the Tzu-chi academies in the Greater Toronto Area. Supporters nationwide donated $739,000 to the cause, a large portion of which went to 2 school boards in Fort McMurray to provide counseling and guidance to students in need. On May 5th and May 10th, Tzu-chi worked with Global Medic to pack and ship out more than 7,000 hygiene and relief kits to Fort McMurray. On May 23rd, 7 volunteers paid their own way and flew to Edmonton, Alberta to join relief activities. At Kingsway Relief Center, they distributed 4,000 blankets that had arrived from Taiwan to evacuees at the shelters. A warm embrace expressed our concern and our encouragement. Bamboo coin banks signified our hope for a never-ending cycle of love. At about 4:20 p.m. on the afternoon of June 28th, a huge explosion flattened a house in Mississauga, leveling 3 other properties in the residential neighborhood and prompting the evacuation of hundreds of people. With the West Toronto office less than 4 kilometers away, volunteers soon arrived at the emergency shelter with blankets and drinking water. Mayor Bonnie Crombie commended Tzu-chi for its quick response and said the blankets were particularly appreciated, as temperatures fell to 15 degrees Celsius overnight. In 2016 marked the second time Tzu-chi attended the National Aboriginal Day event in Hamilton. This year, Chinese medicine practitioners were on hand for free consultations. Many First Nations people discovered how similar their traditional methods were to Chinese medicine. After 2 days, some 62 patients were cared for by the 4 Tzu-chi doctors who had made the 100-kilometer trip. In September, Humber College became the first publicly funded post-secondary institution to offer a traditional Chinese medicine program. Tzu-chi provided bursaries totaling $25,000 to the students enrolled in the program.
I'm a father of a child, so when I stopped my job and started doing this program, I got lots of problems financially. So this scholarship given by Tzu Foundation is a great help, really.
At the same time, Tzu will be opening a clinic on campus in cooperation with Humber College, not only to provide practical experience for students, but to help the sick and promote Chinese medicine in our society. Each winter, Tzu volunteers think about the school children at Elm Bank Junior Middle Academy, located in a turbulent area of Toronto.
There's a lot of violence in the community, there's a lot of poverty in the community, a lot of refugees. So there are a lot of social, emotional, and also academic challenges for our students.
The school's affinity with Tzu stretches back 8 years. Each year, volunteers prepare warm clothing and snacks. By teaching Jingsi's sayings, we hope to bring love into their lives and plant the seeds of goodness in their young hearts.
Everybody can read a lovely sentence. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
With gratitude, respect, love, everyone give without asking for anything in return.
Yeah, I learned that you should be kind and caring and, respect everybody and try to help everybody and, do your best to support those who don't have that much support.
In November, the CEO of Tzu's education mission, Cai Bing-kun, visited all 3 Tzu academies in the Greater Toronto area and commended teachers and volunteers for their hard work. Tzu academies have operated in Greater Toronto since 1997. After 20 years, we have 3 schools with 42 classes and a total of 705 students. In the words of Master Cheng Yen, when the unfortunate cannot find help, those who are blessed must go to them. With the help of Yvonne Baker, Ontario MPP for Etobicoke Centre, 100 multilingual copies of Master Cheng Yen's Jingsi sayings arrived at the Toronto South Detention Centre. Volunteers have received several letters from inmates whose sincere words show their understanding of Jingsi's sayings. Some inmates were even inspired to create paintings, which they provided to Tzu. These paintings have been collected into a calendar to share their inspiration with the world. In September, 2 Tzu volunteers were approved to enter the facility, as we hope to become a beacon at Canada's second-largest prison.
Sometimes it takes the initiative of people like you to think about how we can ensure that we can inspire those people who are now in our correctional facilities to be able to reintegrate and succeed in society when they leave, and you're helping to do that, and that's really, really important. So.
Since 2009, Tzu has been invited to many citizenship ceremonies as representatives of Canada's commitment to volunteer work. This year, Tzu attended 21 citizenship events, earning the approval of both officials and new citizens alike.
Tzu Foundation is a great volunteer, and they've been a great supporter for our ceremonies, and they always ask us to come here. It's such a beautiful venue, and they're so welcoming as hosts, and and they also show a great example to new Canadians as to what volunteering means.
During the 7th month of the lunar calendar, Tzu volunteers introduced vegetarian eating and environmental protection concepts to nearly 400 people. Ottawa volunteers have been holding monthly vegetarian events since 2013 to promote a healthier and more humane lifestyle. Volunteers attended a solemn commencement ceremony in June after completing a series of 10 classes in the past year. Montreal volunteers demonstrated their commitment, traveling some 541 kilometers to join their fellow Tzu brothers and sisters. We have traveled far in 50 years, even as Tzu Chi finds new ways where once there was no way. If there is need or suffering, then Tzu Chi volunteers will diligently overcome barriers and distance to bring comfort and aid. This has always been our original intention. A candle's flame may be small, but it can guide you in the dark. We thank you for your support and sincerely invite all of you to join us as we go forward on this dedication.
Love's the language of our souls. Love's out in hearts, not hands alone. Love's our small wish for you to enjoy. We wish you forever peace and joy.